Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing your daily Q&A video for today for The Walking Dead Season 7. This one leading up to Episode 4, Service. We got a new promo. It's a Costa Rican promo. I'll put the link in the description so you guys can check it out. It's pretty damn cool. I'm going to give my thoughts and then we'll get into your guys' questions. Alright, and spoiler warning as usual if you guys aren't caught up for Walking Dead. So really excited for episode 4 this weekend. I'm really feeling good about this one. I think this is going to be the best episode we've had since the premiere, and maybe one of the best from this half. So we'll see how it goes. Service is the name of the episode. So Negan and the Saviors come to visit Alexandria, and it looks like a lot of fun. So we've got the Costa Rican promo. Click the link in the description, pause me, watch it, and come back and hear my thoughts. So it's a pretty fun one. I want to thank Chris Tanley who sent it to me. And it's got a scene, so it's a new scene we haven't seen yet, and it hasn't been in any of the promos, where you have Negan at the gates. It's like straight out of the comic book, at least for parts of it, and you got Jeffrey Dean Morgan who's like, well, hello there. Do not make me have to ask. I love it, because Rick kind of just looks at him like, you know, he's all grumpy and stuff because, of course, Negan smoked, Abraham and Glenn, and has taken Daryl, which we can see, too, as well. And then Rick says, you said a week, you're early, and then he opens the gate, and then Negan says, I missed you. And then there's a zombie who comes up, and Negan sees it. So I like this about Negan. Rather than getting one of his guys to kill it, he's like, oh, Ray, come out here, watch this, calling it. And then he smokes it and laughs a bit. And then he says, easy peasy lemon squeezy. That's fine. And then you can see the camera kind of pan. You see Rick, and he's not impressed. You see the camera pan. And then, all right, everybody, let's get started. Big day. And then you go from the left to the right. And I'm assuming this is the first time Rick sees, it would be because he's just opened the gate and everything, sees Daryl as a prisoner. So you've got Daryl, he's got the A on the shirt and everything. He's looking at him like this, and like half dead, like, just in rough shape. And then you've got Dwight who's kind of in front of him, who actually also, too, is not looking too happy, too. Is maybe you see it in Dwight, at least the way I see his face, Austin Emilio. It looks like he's kind of sad for what he has to do. He's kind of sad for what's happening. And he doesn't really take much joy in it with regards to Rick and the rest of the group. I really feel like I think he understands. Of course, he doesn't know Rick and the others personally, but I think he understands for the most part that Daryl and the others are pretty good people. Daryl, at least at first, was willing to let them. He's asking Dwight and Sherry the questions. He starts asking them the questions. How many people have you killed? This kind of thing, and kind of screening him to see if maybe Dwight and Sherry could be two that could come back and join Alexandria. So, so good stuff. I mean, is it a good thing that Dwight didn't do that because he ended up having to going back to Negan and the Saviors anyway? Had he have known about that, maybe Dwight would have gone and told Negan, I found this gold mine. Like all these people, they got like an awesome community. They've got like, it's just beautiful. The houses are like, $500,000 houses and stuff. So maybe it's a good thing Daryl didn't bring him back, but I get the sense that Dwight does see Rick and the others as pretty good people. Maybe some of himself in Daryl. So it's a fun clip. Definitely cool to see Negan. Definitely cool to see Jeffrey Dean Morgan play off the role. And for a lot of people, he's already becoming their favorite character. I've seen a lot of comments, people, saying they love Negan so much. It's fun to see him, everything. He really is stealing the show, I think. And I can't wait to see him interact with Rick. It should be a lot of fun, and it should be really cool. So then we've got Kim Schnitzler, who says, Trev, are you ready for a lot more people to come to Canada? And she winks and says, seriously though, what does Canada think of the U.S. election results? Thanks. So not Walking Dead, but huge world event, of course. Donald Trump becomes president. Next one was from Ben C. Carizani. He says, since Donald Trump was elected president of the United States, can you set up a refugee shelter at your home in Canada so that your American subscribers can flee? So same with both of you. So quickly, I'll just very briefly give my thoughts on it. I thought for a little while there Hillary was going to take it. I really did, especially when the reports came out about the FBI stuff and that, her being kind of cleared and everything being okay. So I felt like, okay, it was close too. I was watching it too when it came down to it. I think it came down to like a few million, voters. At least there was a part there when they were neck and neck. They were pretty close near the end. So it was pretty exciting to see. And of course, her and Trump quite different, quite different, who people decided to vote for and everything. But, you can see why Donald Trump would have gotten it. I mean, he's been in the spotlight for a long time. It's not like he's somebody people don't know. Hillary Clinton has too, but people know Trump from some of his TV series he's been involved with. He's done so many different things, like The Apprentice and all these different shows, and Now You're Fired and stuff. So he's been in the spotlight for a very long time. He was rich when he was born, so he started off with an advantage. It's not like he had to make, his billions or whatever all by himself. He started off with, a ton of money. And I actually heard something about him that if he didn't buy real estate, if he didn't buy anything, and all he did was just take his dad's money and put it in the U.S. S&P 500, he'd have even more money now. So I thought that was kind of funny that he's worked his whole career and done all this business stuff, and really it hasn't really done anything. He would have done even better if he didn't do anything and he just put it in the market, was like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing, put it in the market, and that's it, just leave it. All this business stuff he's done all these years it's been less than his returns would have been if he'd have just put his dad's cash in. So I think that's kind of funny. But good for him, president stuff. People are a little bit worried. I don't think it should be fine. It's just one person. I know they make a big deal about president and this kind of thing, but you got to remember the government and everything. I mean, huge, the amount of people involved and everything and decisions in that, huge. So it's probably not a huge deal, guys, to be honest. You make a big deal about this stuff, but, he's more of like a figurehead. I see presidents more as figureheads, really. There's so many gears and things turning in the background that affect so many decisions, right? So, absolutely. So, yeah, it's cool, but I really don't think many people are going to move to Canada being scared of Trump. Next one's from Gearhead1087. He says, "Hey Trev, got a good question for you for your videos. With Daryl being taken by Negan, who will be Rick's right-hand man now without him? Maybe Michonne will be his second in command. Would make sense. Anyway, really love all your videos. Keep it up. Can't wait for tonight's episode." This was before episode 3. But it's a great question from Gearhead1087. So who's going to be Rick's number 2 now, man? Because, of course, after the premiere, you have Glenn, you have Abraham, and they've also taken Daryl. Daryl's a prisoner now. So I almost see it like right now, and the way things are at currently, it's like Rick's group is not its own standalone group. They have their own stuff and everything, their own place to live, but they're really under Negan now. So, Rick is kind of a part of, I guess Rick and the group is a part of Negan's saviors, the overarching saviors. Who his number 2 is, it definitely can't be Daryl if he's been taken and might end up being forced into becoming a savior, unless he's able to escape or someone's able to free him or something, like maybe Jesus sneaks in and frees him or something. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, without him, without Glenn, without Abraham, man, that's a tough call for who's going to be Rick's number 2. You might have to go with one of the girls. Like Michonne is super tough too, right? That's his girl and everything. That's his girlfriend, I guess you could say right now. Maybe eventually wife, that kind of thing. But you might have to go with Michonne, right? Let's see, who else do we got? Yeah, in terms of man, it's right hand man. I would think maybe Michonne's the strongest next. That's really tough. You got like Carl, you got Eugene, you got like Spencer, you got Aaron, Father Gabriel. Yeah, that's, man, I'm probably forgetting people, but that's tough. So maybe you would have to go with Michonne as kind of his number 2 right now without Daryl being there and the other 2 being dead. Wow. Negan really did a number on the group. If you look at it when the start of the season and their strength and where they're at right now, the group is definitely weaker than where it was at. You've got Sasha in there too, Sasha's really strong too as well. So she'd be good as well too. So right-hand man may not be a man. I think you've got it, Gear. I think maybe Michonne is the next toughest. Because Michonne is tough anyway, though. She goes up against Merle and everything and is able to survive that. So Michonne is tough as nails for sure. Upton Legend 10 says, "Hey Trev, quick Q&A. What is the point in Dwight taking all of Daryl's stuff? Is it because he wants to be Daryl? Is he like a Daryl fanboy? He sees himself in Daryl? Or he's just an asshole who is jealous of Daryl? I personally think it's pointless. It doesn't add anything to the character, and it makes the audience hate Dwight a lot more than we're supposed to. What do you think?" And I do agree with you, Upton Legend, to a degree that if he treated Daryl better, the audience would probably relate better to Dwight. But I feel like in season 6 anyway, he's kind of a straight-up villain after Always Accountable. And into the end of the season, it's very exciting to see him and Daryl kind of go at it, and that Dwight is able to best Daryl because Daryl becomes emotional and stops thinking and kind of goes in just totally out of rage and fury and makes some bad decisions, whereas Dwight is able to stay more calculated and is able to best him in that way. So I think he's used good as a villain at the end of season 6. Really exciting for him and Daryl, because Negan just kind of comes in at the end, right? So, but up until that point, Dwight is kind of like our main guy, since Negan's not there yet until Negan arrives. You've got Spencer and the others as well in there too, Wade and that. But so that's a good question. You guys can write your comments below. Why do you think Dwight takes Daryl's stuff and wears Daryl's stuff? That is a really interesting one. I mean, from his perspective, does he admire Daryl? Does he like Daryl? Is he jealous of Daryl? I don't know. I don't think he would be jealous. What reason would he have to be jealous of Daryl? That's tricky. Maybe he does see himself. Maybe he sees him and Daryl as pretty similar, and he thinks Daryl's going to turn out like him or something. I don't know, but I guess maybe it's kind of to prove his point that all of your stuff, everything belongs to him. Everything is his or will be. So when they beat Rick and the group, they have the right to take all their stuff. You even see Fat Joey, who's got Rick's Colt, right? Which is, kind of weird. You see like this fat guy, and he's holding Rick's python. It's like, it's weird, right? So it's kind of like they just see it as all their stuff is theirs, and they can use it for whatever they want. Maybe he thinks it's a cool jacket. It's cool stuff. He stole his bike as well too. So it certainly doesn't help his case for people thinking he could swap to become like a good guy especially after season 6. So, but we'll see what happens with that, because he does seem to feel a little bit guilty at the gates, at least, or he looks like he's not taking joy in what he's about to do with Negan and the others. Gabriel Bloom says, Q&A question, Trev. You see Negan made Gregory his bitch. Negan also made Rick his bitch, and Ezekiel his bitch too. And Daryl is his bitch as well. Do you notice a pattern here, Trev? Because I notice a pattern. That's nice. Negan is the Don, man. Negan's the kingpin in the zombie apocalypse. Absolutely. He's pretty much made everybody his bitch so far. But we'll see what happens. So far, Negan undefeated. Law of averages have to catch up. We'll see. So, and then we'll do a couple more. Charmander YT says, Q&A. How do you think Heath is going to react to Abraham and Glenn's deaths once he finds out? Same with Tara. Mark Scott says, I think Heath will never make it back to find out. So that's a real possibility, because, of course, the actor was cast in another show. So we'll see what they do this season. It would be kind of early to kill Heath since he hasn't been here that long. But at the same time, if the actor's got other stuff, they could kill him off. That said, he hasn't been in that many episodes so far, and with The Walking Dead and the way they're doing it with bottle episodes now, you could have actors and characters who can do other stuff. I mean, if you look at this season so far, 3 episodes in, we haven't seen Father Gabriel at all once. We haven't seen Spencer. We haven't seen any of the cast that's involved with Alexandria that weren't with the 11 that were out that met Negan or Carol or Morgan. So there are a lot of characters here and actors that could probably come in and do a few episodes a season, and that's really it. And then they might be able to do other roles. So we'll see how it all works out. But, I would imagine they're going to be super sad if they show it to us when Heath and Tara. I would think they're going to show us at least Tara reacting, because Heath didn't have that much of a relationship with them, not nearly as much as Tara did. Tara was on the road with them and everything. She was surviving with them for a while through some time skips and stuff like that. So I would think that she's going to be closer to either of them than Heath would be. But I still think that they're all going to be surprised as to what has happened, and what they're having to do is going to confuse a lot of people for sure. And that'll be it for today's Q&A, guys. If you liked it, please don't forget to thumb it up below. If you want to share, you can share through at the bottom left. And if you want to subscribe, bottom left to subscribe. Always appreciate you guys for subscribing. All of your support. You guys are awesome. You guys are the best. All that good stuff. And, send me more questions for the next couple days for the Q&As. That's it for this one, guys. See you again soon tomorrow. So this is Trev, and I'm saying peace. Later, guys. See you soon. You can share, you can favorite, you can subscribe. Hell, you're all going to be doing that.